beams are driving me absolutely crazy. I think this is their intention. They want to drive me crazy. Whoever is perpetrating this microwave psychotronic beaming of me, they want to drive me completely crazy. I'm not entirely sure for what purpose, so that I'll get locked up again and then be silenced. I don't know what it is. They were beaming at me while I was in the psychiatric hospital, so they obviously want revenge. Indeed, I still believe it's all part of an experiment on me, but I'm not sure if the beams are at their source being perpetrated by the British security services or Russian military intelligence. Indeed, both the British security services and Russian military intelligence have reason to want to beam at me. Indeed. I'm a little bit worried because I'm still stuck in exactly the same psychosis that I was stuck in 5 years ago. And I'm never, ever going to make it out of this psychosis. So I'm going to be stuck in this psychosis for the rest of my life. Indeed, I need help. I really need help. But I don't need the kind of help that a mental hospital offers. I do not need the psychiatric system. The psychiatric system is a eugenicist agenda. And all they want to do is make you fat, dumb you down, take away your confidence and individuality, and make you a corporate slave. That is all that the psychiatric system is geared up to do. The people in the psychiatric system, they claim to want to help you, but they're actually clueless. The majority of them are totally clueless about the realities of mental illness. And you can't say anything. Everything you say is dismissed as delusion. So, the mental health services are, in fact, a containment facility for the cryptocracy. The cryptocracy uses the mental health system as a containment facility. Indeed, it's no surprise that the real heavy establishment of psychiatric hospitals happened after 1776. Indeed, the push for the establishment of real rigid institutions of psychiatric hospitals, known at the time as asylums, began after 1776. So after this network of German psychiatrists basically began their plot for world domination. And it all adds up. Indeed, when it comes to mind control experimentation, it is always psychiatric patients that are targeted for mind control experimentation. Indeed, the Russian intelligence services are some of the worst for experimentation on psychiatric patients. Indeed, they actually neutralize a lot more psychiatric patients after experimentation than happens in Britain and America. Indeed, in Britain and America, they tend to experiment on psychiatric patients and then program them to commit crazy acts in the community that they can then utilize as false flag attacks or use to their own benefit. Whereas the Russian intelligence services just murder the psychiatric patients after they've tested them with microwave weapons and various techniques of thought control, mind control, behavior modification, etc. Though there does seem to be a current trend in the Russian Federation of a similar program to what is going on in Britain and America, whereby psychiatric patients are programmed, often with Nazi fetishist ideology, and are basically programmed to commit certain acts within the community, which justifies harsher government clampdowns on individual privacy and harsher surveillance techniques. Indeed, the psychiatric populations of the NATO countries and the Russian Federation are fair game for the cryptocracies of those nations, and the society especially here in the United Kingdom, basically also creates the conditions whereby paranoid schizophrenics are persecuted. Indeed, the society is also responsible because of the treatment that society doles out to paranoid schizophrenics and mental patients overall. Indeed, the society of Britain, especially in these small towns, is based around these very sad social hierarchies where morons are basically running the social hierarchy. And these morons like to bully psychiatric patients and do so. And this is all basically coordinated by the networks and cabals of psychiatrists at the top of the Illuminati pyramid. Indeed, your Tavistock Institute, Inner Sanctum, and the networks of the Mad Housekeepers Guild. Indeed, this all an intelligence operation, and the paranoid schizophrenic is suffering due to the machinations of the intelligence agencies, with the intelligence agencies wishing to destroy the paranoid schizophrenic. Indeed, the guy who coined the term paranoid schizophrenic was Bleuler, a German psychiatrist and initiate of the Mad Housekeepers Guild, who was himself a sanist. And much of the cryptocracy, the psychiatric profession, and wider society are sanists. They do not like crazy people, and they do not care when we are neutralized. They do not care when we are locked up. It's better in society's eyes that we be out of sight and out of mind. And indeed, we have no voice. And we exist in these societies where morons are at the top of the social hierarchy, especially in these small towns. But these morons serve a purpose for the cryptocracy above them, who basically organize themselves with the most intellectual people at the top. The upper classes organize themselves with the most intellectual people at the top, and the lower classes organize themselves with the morons at the top. So the morons at the top of the lower classes are serving a purpose for the intelligent people at the top of the upper classes, which is very interesting to realize, really, because these morons, especially in these small towns with their social hierarchy, are creating problems for the very people that can basically have the vision to be able to take on the people at the top of the chain. Indeed, the schizophrenics are the most intelligent percentages of the lower classes of the population. The pauper lunatics are the ones who see everything and see through everything. Indeed, as I've stated in previous videos, the majority of psychiatric patients have some sort of connection with the British intelligence services in the United Kingdom, whether that be that the psychiatric patients are former British intelligence operatives who whistle blew on the British intelligence services, or simply figured out that something was seriously wrong with the British intelligence services, or the psychiatric patients are mind controlled test subjects of the British intelligence services and therefore count as assets of British intelligence. Indeed, I was a mind controlled test subject of the British intelligence services, and I believe I was also used as an asset in various programs. Indeed, the overarching MI6 mind control program is the Mindgate program. Now, there is nothing about it on the internet, but the name of the British mind control program is the Mindgate program. And the theories behind the Mindgate program is basically Nazi mind science, and it's very similar in structure to your more well-known American mind control programs such as MK Ultra, Project Bluebird, and Project Artichoke, and the Russian mind control program Project Sturm, which was one of the darkest mind control programs in the history of mankind. Indeed, Russian mental patients have had a terrible time from the Russian intelligence services, and it's really quite a sad thing for me due to my affinity with Russian mental patients. Indeed, These networks all interlinked together, the networks that carried out MK Ultra, the networks that carried out the Mindgate program in Britain, and the networks that carried out Project Sturm in Russia, all link up through the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks of Nazi mind scientists, which were very influential in collusion with American, British, and Russian mind control scientists. Indeed, these networks all link together, and it all links back to the Bavarian Illuminati networks and their founders, the Mad Housekeepers Guild, this network of German psychiatrists from the 1700s who basically plotted world domination. And suddenly, after 1776, suddenly in the 50 years after that, all these big asylums started popping up and the Great Confinement began. And this was because these psychiatric patients were always telling the truth. These people that became psychiatric patients were always telling the truth. The truth may be encrypted with a psychiatric patient, but it is still truth nevertheless. It's encrypted truth, but still truth. So the Illuminati networks are terrified of psychiatric patients. Psychiatric patients possess something in their brains that the Illuminati are terrified of, and something that all of their occultism cannot attain because they are working on lower energies. And so they persecute the very people who are actually truly holy, i.e., the paranoid schizophrenics and psychiatric patient population. And another reason that the Great Confinement began was because of mesmerism and the amount of behavior modification and mind control programming that the Illuminati and their conduits within Britain, Germany, and France, the mind control programs that were spawned by these networks, really began to proliferate after 1776, when the majority of the plotting for world domination as we know it and the societies that are taking shape now occurred. Indeed, the Great Confinement was to silence these people that were being used in behavior modification experiments and by the Masonic, Illuminized Masonic networks that are now represented by British intelligence and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. Indeed, this is a continuing sequence of events. Indeed, the Manson family in the United States, in California during the late 60s, was itself a product of behavior modification. Indeed, I feel rather sorry for Charles Manson. He was basically a Manchurian candidate, a mind controlled operative of the United States intelligence services. And the Manson females were tearaways from American intelligence families. Indeed, the murder victim Sharon Tate's father was an American intelligence operative, and the fingerprints of intelligence are all over the Manson family saga. Indeed, I do feel very sorry for Charles Manson, as he was a product of behavior modification and paid for it by spending the rest of his life locked away. Indeed, those killings were most probably contracted hits in an argument over the synthetic drugs trade in Los Angeles. But there's so many connections with intelligence. Indeed, the synthetic drugs trade was being run by intelligence, but it also served the purpose of ending the counterculture. So it's all very interesting to analyze. Indeed, it was a behavior modification experiment. Indeed, the Symbionese Liberation Army was also a behavior modification experiment. And these behavior modification experiments are highly prevalent in the United States, in Britain, and in the Russian Federation. They are less obvious in the mainland European countries, France, Germany, etc. There are less cases of Manchurian candidates, but no doubt these experiments still go on in these territories. Indeed, the Anglo societies and the Russian Federation seem to be the main targets of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks in terms of their mind control programming. So it really does beg the question, really, why? But of course, the main victims of the programming are paranoid schizophrenics, and as I've explained in this video, the Illuminized networks of the British intelligence and Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks seem to have a severe issue with paranoid schizophrenics, and so use them as test subjects, as indeed I've explained in other videos. I was a terminal test subject in, and continue to be a terminal test subject in, a mind control experiment conducted by the British intelligence services. And I need help. I'm very psychotic. I need serious help, but not the kind of help that would be given to me in a mental hospital. Indeed, the beams are absolutely destroying me now, and I expect this is all part of the experiment. This is some sort of punishment for things I've been saying online, this beaming. And it doesn't seem to relent. Indeed, I'm disabled most of the day, basically, because I curl up into a ball. I'm being attacked by beams so badly that I just lie there being attacked by the beams, and I can't really do anything, and it destroys me. So this whole situation is driving me crazy. Also, I can't talk to anyone because everyone will just dismiss me and they'll call the authorities or whatever. And most of which hates me anyway, so there is no one really to talk to. I have met friends from the psychiatric hospital, but they've got their own problems. I don't want to burden them with mine. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there.